Hi everyone, welcome to the Protecting Your Family's Privacy on Video Chat Apps webinar. My name is Alyssa Bernadas and I will be your moderator for this session. I just want to remind everyone that this session will be recorded. Before we start our fun and learning, let's have a quick check-in. So for everyone who's joining today's webinar, could you please say hi and shout out what organization you guys are joining us from? Just click on the chat button below your screen and just make sure that you are sending it to everyone and not just the panelists. All right, so just tell us where you guys are joining us from and what your organization is. All right, so I see that we have participants from FEU Diliman, we have Mapua, DLSU, DepEd Manila, Makati High School, PUP Taguig. I'm sorry, I can't read everything because I'm getting a lot of responses. SLU Baguio, good morning. So I spent a relatively huge amount of my year studying in Baguio. So good morning, Baguio. We have PUP Manila, we have PUP Maine, DepEd Valenzuela, Batangas State University, CEU Manila, SDOQC, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, DepEd Cabanatuan. Okay, all right. So it seems like we have a really good turnout for today. I'm seeing a lot of participants from the academe, and I also see some, actually most of you guys are from the academe. UE Manila, LSSU Maine, DepEd San Pablo City. Good morning, everyone. Mabuhay, and welcome to the webinar. So, all right, seems like we have a good turnout. Before we start the webinar, just a few reminders. So here are the tools that you can use to communicate with us. You'll see both the chat and Q&A buttons at the bottom of your screen. Please use the chat section if you need to send us any feedback during the webinar. Q&A section, on the other hand, is where you can send in your questions. You can post them anytime throughout the webinar, but in order to manage our limited webinar time, they will be answered towards the end. Basic questions will be answered via chat and others will be answered live during the Q&A. Kindly include the slide number in your questions so we can reply to them faster. We'll also use the upvote feature of Zoom. If you have the same question, just click on the like button and the questions with the most number of likes will be prioritized during the Q&A portion. Our speaker will be joined by other subject matter experts who will help respond to your questions, and you may also add more details to the question by using the comment button. A polling question will be posted from time to time. A separate window will pop up to show the poll, and you just have to select your answer from the list and then click Submit. The results of the poll will be shown after. Just click Close when you're done viewing the results. At the end of the webinar, you will automatically be routed to a survey form. Kindly take the time to answer the short survey. Your feedback is valuable to us and will help us improve our succeeding webinars. To those who answer the survey, you will receive a certificate of attendance for the webinar via email 1 week after this session. Access to the recordings for this session, key takeaways, and succeeding webinar schedules will be announced on our Facebook pages at Trend Micro Careers Philippines and Click Right Philippines. You can also send us a message if you want to request a topic you'd want us to cover in our next webinar, so please like and follow our pages. So now time for you to meet our speaker. Mark Arenza is a project manager for operations and partnerships for Trend Micro's whitelisting team. He is a homegrown talent with extensive involvement for 10 years on improving processes and all levels of relationship building with different functional work groups and business units. On top of this, he has been an Internet Safety for Kids and Families volunteer since 2013 for its localized initiative, Click Right. He has been reaching out to schools and communities in different parts of the country, talking about being a responsible global citizen. So ladies and gentlemen, let me just welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Mark Arenza.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you, Ochi, call her Ochi in the office, for introducing me. I'm very happy to be here talking about privacy and video chat application. Ochi has been host events in Trend Micro, and I was able to host with her a couple of times, and it's nice to hear familiar voice. And speaking of familiar voice, I can see in the chat room that even my friends from Yogyakarta, Indonesia is here. Hi, Adolphus, thank you for joining, and other in other parts of the world, thank you for joining the our webinar. So I'm sharing my PowerPoint presentation now. Okay, so as you all know, we're from Trend Micro, we're engineered to do good. And Trend Micro has been a global leader in enterprise data security and cybersecurity solutions. We protect you against malware, online banking, and shopping threats, amongst others, as you use the internet and you use it increasingly more and more every day, especially during this pandemic. While we can protect you even in your sleep, what you do when you're online relies heavily on the choices that you make. My regular talks in my regular talks going around communities and campuses in the Philippines, I typically cover a wide range of issues about what it means to be online. And when you're online, how it is to be safe there, how it is to be kind, and of course how it is to be savvy. Use the internet in the most productive and positive way. Video chat applications continue to be one of the most important technology in our lives. However, they also open the doors to some risks. For example, cybercriminals may take advantage of these applications. Today, we're going to talk about protecting your family on video chat applications, and specifically how to use them both safely for yourself and your family, overall contribute to you being responsible digital citizen. So what are these popular video chat applications? There's an enormous number of them, right? With more and more people gravitating to them every day, especially trying to communicate with their loved ones, with their friends. And some of them you might have used. So I'll be introducing some of them. For example, Zoom, where we are right now, right? So I use Zoom at work, and it's very convenient. And we have a license to host a webinar this uh, big. Currently, we have around 800 participants, so thank you for joining. Next, we have Viber. Viber is also convenient, one of my go-to application when it comes to talking to my friends and my family. Facebook Messenger, of course, it's been with us, and then conveniently serving a lot of people, sharing a lot of photos, sharing a lot of videos, and then video chats, of course. Line and WhatsApp, I learned this because of my Chinese, Japanese, and Korean friends. I think they're more popular on those countries. That's why they tend to communicate with this platform. FaceTime, I haven't tried because I'm not an Apple fan. Sorry about that, and I'm not an Apple user. And one of my oldest friend in video chat application is Skype. I've been using Skype for many years now, since 2006. On other chat applications that you can see, these ones I hardly use. So these are just some examples of those that have either enjoyed a lot of usage among the population for a long time, and others that are starting to see explosive growth just over the last couple of months, because we're all staying at home and we're online much more. Regardless of age, you, your family members, your kids, use this at least once a day, right? And they even use multiple platforms. My 7 year old knows how to call his uncle in Messenger, and you just realize, if she has your device, you don't know what she's doing there and who is she communicating with. So what usually happens when we enter online video chat applications? I guess some of these are comments that you heard um, or you've been hearing many times, like great to see you all. When you hear me, especially when the internet is bad, or sorry about the noise, um, a tricycle or the chickens or the dogs and stuff like that. But since we're in video chat, let me switch on my camera so you can see that live. And since we're talking about video chat applications, Ochi, can you see my video?
I'm looking at it. Yes, I can see
Okay.
that
Hi.
you
So
have
hi.
grown so much hair since I
Yes.
last saw you in the office.
Thank you, Ochi. Yes, I need a haircut. That's one of the comments that I've been hearing. But yeah, I'm afraid to go out. So these are comments that you hear most of the time, and especially in my case, we've been working for like I think at home for more than 4 months now, and you can just imagine me meeting every day and hearing all of this comments. Okay, let me stop my video. Okay. So, polling question. As what Ochi mentioned earlier, we'll have a couple of questions for you guys. So, Ochi will fill out the question, and I would like you to answer. How do you feel about video chat? Do you feel that you're glad to stay connected, or it's starting to getting feeling uneasy about this video chat app, or because you miss face to face time with people, so it's good to use it, or all of the above? So we give you a couple of seconds to answer. Okay. Oh, remember to answer on the poll. Okay, not in the chat. Okay. So what you can see in the result is yes, I'm glad to stay connected for work and friends and family. That's good. That's good to know. I think um because of this video chat applications, it's great to be able to talk to friends, family that you haven't seen in a long time. And now that you're reconnecting with a lot of those people, it feels great. So it's good to hear. Next, all of the above. Okay. Now, how do you feel about the same question when it comes to your kids or uh, young people? So Archie will be showing you another question. How do you feel about your kids engaging in video chat? Are you happy that enables you to do a lot of things? Um, do you imagine what will life look like on the other side of COVID-19 with video chatting, remote working, and distance learning? It's going to be part of our new normal. So let's see what it is with your kid. Okay. So how do you feel about your kids on video chat? So the number one answer is I wish they weren't on screen so much. Yes. I think we're going to discuss, it's been discussed from this webinar how much we able to do about the screen time. So especially with our parents out there being worried about how much screen time they give their kids. Next would be I'm thankful that we stay connected to teachers and friends. Yes, especially with our um, current scheme in terms of education. I think this will be our reality for quite some time. Thank you so much for that, Ochi. So let me go on the next slide and see that since you want, since you answered these questions, I know that you have understood about what can this video chat do to us. This video chat is here. It's our present. It will be our future, especially with our situation. So what we have actually is yes, we're connected with family and friends in quarantine. We can reach large groups of people. It's relatively easy to use. Many free options. But it comes with disadvantages as well. We talk about privacy for self and family, personal information, inappropriate use and abuse, strangers and outsiders, which I will have tips for you guys later on. So let's go with this goes one by one. So connection with family and friends in quarantine, yes, it keeps us connected. It feels good that you're connected with your friends. I personally is missing a lot of socializing, and I'm pretty much outgoing person, so I miss really talking to my friends. And video chat applications help me with that. And these video chat applications can even host a lot of people. For example, in Zoom, we have You can host a lot of people, up to like 1,500. So you could just imagine how much reach you can do in just one call. It's relatively easy to use. We'll talk about the differences among some of these applications later. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is we're going to focus on the free applications and or those with free versions available. Again, for our disadvantages, you're worried, I know, about privacy. It has I think extensive discussion on our previous webinars before, but we have our subject matter expert with us in the panel in case you have questions later about privacy. And giving out personal information, when you enter an application, before you can use it, you have to put your personal information. And a lot of people are asking, with the previous webinars that we have, what happens to those personal information? Of course, I understand you're worried about inappropriate use and abuse. What you share online might be used against you or might be used in ways that you had not intended to. And strangers or outsiders online. Certain video chat applications, do not require you to invite people. Often an application allows you to have everybody together, and suddenly strangers might show up and you don't know them. So that's a very real concern, especially on consumer-facing applications. So those are the pros and cons. Nevertheless, a lot of people every day grows in numbers or thousands or hundreds. A lot of people are using the video chat applications. And typically, they want to see you in video or want to do it many times with you since you guys are enjoying it. Or perhaps even invite more people to have more fun. But until then, perhaps it's late before you started questioning. Like, are you recording this? What happens to the photo I sent you? So this kind of worries, I'd like to acknowledge and then make you understand that what can we do with this kind of situation. And Trend Micro is doing this webinars as a help, as a tool for you to understand and be responsible digital citizen. So when you first download, I know that you guys are excited to meet your friends. You guys are excited to see your friends on the video chat application. But knowing what the video chat applications can do, here are the things you consider before you even start installing any applications for that matter. This is that crucial moment in which could be a game changer when you use them. What are the things that you need to consider? Before you download an application, consider some of the issues and talk to your kids, your family members about them. New technology, new applications can be intimidating. I understand that, but it's a great opportunity for you to learn and make it to the point more beneficial than harmful. For most application, you must sign up. First, you will be asked to register with an email address and password. Or usually, they opt to log in with your Facebook or other social network account. Our advice is not to sign in using your social account, but to use email and password. So what you can do as a response to this is try to understand what can happen if you put this information out there. How can you ensure that your accounts are safe as you're adding more and more applications that require you to register? The answer is you have to use strong passwords. So they say strong password, it's going to be long. I think we discussed also on our previous webinars how to create passwords. And if your application enables you to have multi-factor authentication, please use that. Unfortunately, not all applications offer multi-factor authentication, which is a two-step process to authenticate your identity when you log in your account. The situation is like first you enter your username and password, then it will send you either a text or an email with a unique number, which you must use in order to access your account. This process ensures that you are who you say you are. If somebody try to steal your username and password, you will be prompted via SMS or via email, and they won't be able to access your phone or email because you need to authenticate it first. So that is about using strong password and multi-factor authentication. Now, for social network applications, you generally don't allow the camera and microphone access, and or unless you're using it. However, for video chat applications on what we're discussing right now, it would be useless if you didn't allow access to both. You have to allow access for camera and microphone. Your content is, we suggest that you invite people for each chat. Don't connect your entire contact list to the applications. So here in the webinar, we asked you first to register, and then we gave you an email access, right? So that's what you should that's what we suggest you do. So you authenticate first for the people who want your chat to make them join the chat. Now for notifications, it's a good idea to turn this on because you don't you know when someone wants to chat or these applications have updates. So for vulnerabilities, which we will discuss later on, it's good that you receive an update that there is a needed patch for your applications and you have to install it or download it. So it's good that you allow the notification. Does the app track our location? You have to understand on why you're using the application. So we suggest that you turn that off. You don't need them to know where you are physically. Because we're in a pandemic, you're supposed to be just in your house, right? So these are the things that you need to consider, and these are the actions that you can take. And we highly suggest that you do this before during your doing your video chat app. Okay, so
Mark,
here,
sorry,
yes,
before you proceed, I think the audio is starting to be a bit choppy.
okay,
I think we missed a couple of sentences from the last slide.
okay,
Okay, would it be easier if I share the slides instead, just in case you're having problems with the connection?
okay, sure.
All right, so I'll start sharing the slides so you can focus on the content. One moment. So we're here. Oh, okay, so sorry, sorry everyone for the technical glitch. Let me just share the slide. Okay, all right. So you're here towards the last part. I think that's when we started having a bit of a choppy audio. So you can
Okay,
proceed, Mark.
thank you for
Thank you
that.
for that.
I'm hearing
I'm hearing
feedback.
feedback.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, all right. So is this better?
Yes, okay.
Yes, okay.
Oh, I'm still
Oh, I'm
hearing my
still hearing
voice.
my voice.
Oh, all right. Let me go ahead and see what I can do. Okay, how about now?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. So again, we experience also technical glitches from our end. So thank you for understanding. My last thing to consider is about the application tracking your location. Again, what I said earlier is that you turn that off. You don't need them to know where you are physically, right? So even in this pandemic, you're supposed to just be in your house. So imagine if somebody knows where you are and then go to you. So you could just imagine the risk that you're putting yourself into. So we suggest that you turn this off. Achi, is this better? Is this okay?
Yes, this is way better. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. Let's move to the next slide. So here are 6 tips that I can give you in protecting yourself in using the video chat application. Next slide, please. So first is protecting your privacy. Again, as I mentioned before, only invite people to a video chat you know and give them a password to access the chat. You check the settings on the video app, ensure that security feature is turned on. This would avoid unwanted people joining your video call. Once some applications have a feature to lock the chat, for example, kindly enable them. We suggest that you enable that feature. For example, in Zoom, we can enable a waiting room. I think most of you experience that. You will be in the waiting room, and once the host started started to accept you guys, then you can just join the chat. That could be a good feature for you. Another good practice would be using headphones for privacy. In my case, I'm currently at my family's house. That's why maybe one of the reasons why I don't have good internet connection. So I apologize for that. Here I don't have my own workplace. Even if you're in a cafe or public place, there might be confidential information that you need to talk about. And when you're at speakers, that is a huge risk, not just for yourself, but for your whole organization. So it's not just thinking about your privacy, but also the privacy of the person on the other end of the video chat. I have in my computer camera cover. I think you can get it from any e-commerce platform. It protects you in case there are malicious applications that would remotely grab inputs from an affected machine or smartphone's camera. Again, I suggest you buy that one. Um, when you're in Zoom, you can also change your background. Let me share my video again. There. You can see this is my official background for business. But I can choose a virtual background for me. If you're proud, you can use. If your apartment is like this, why not share it, right? But I can be wherever I want to be. For example, I can be at the beach, or I can be in outer space, or I'm even watching the aurora right now. So you can use a lot of those background, especially in Zoom. So let me switch off my video again. Okay, the second one is about your personal information. So how do you make sure that nobody uses your personal information when you put it these applications? Next slide, Ochi. One area that I think not many people know is about the end-to-end encryption capability of this application. What is end-to-end encryption capability? So, why is it important? Encryption information, like your photos and chat, that is being transferred between you and the vendor or the application and the person on the other end. And it means that all those information is protected, not visible or accessible by others. So it basically prevents anybody from being able to capture your information, and it's going across while it's going across the internet. However, not all these applications use end-to-end encryption. So I suggest that you research about these applications before you use them. Next slide. This is protecting yourself. Some applications allow others to invite an outsider to a chat. You invite 8 people, but one of those people can invite somebody else that you didn't invite. Next slide. In the Philippines, we invite one, and this person invite others, right? So it's very usual when you attend parties or when you attend stahan, we Filipinos tend to invite more. Imagine in this chat room, you're letting people to enter your chat room without the invitation, and you're surprised. You're not aware of that, and you need to talk to your kids and your family about this, about inviting others that you don't know. And it's part of really protecting yourself against cyber criminals. Next slide. And about reporting, I think it's very crucial that Trend Micro is trying to educate a lot of people that we need to speak about inappropriate behaviors in the internet. We're going to talk about cyberbullying on our next webinar, so I invite you there so we can discuss this more. About bullying, harassment, and inappropriate behavior online, which might upset you or your family and make you uncomfortable. Um, we encourage that talk to your kids and let them know that they can talk to you and you can show them how to report it. Some applications or most applications, if not all, have a reporting feature built in. So I highly recommend that you use that. Um, some applications allow to like up to 50 people to be in a video chat. So make sure that you talk to your kids and that they know that they can come to you if they experience or see inappropriate behavior online. And if you're gonna use the chat applications, you use it well and you use it right. Next is about privacy. So I've discussed briefly about privacy earlier. Many applications like Zoom allow you to record a video chat. It has happened where people are on a chat which is being recorded unknowns to them, and then suddenly it is posted publicly later. But again, Ochi, we reminded them that this webinar is being recorded, right? So we don't have
Yes.
any issues with that. Thank you,
Yep.
Ochi. Also, if you and your kids are having this video chat and you don't want or you don't agree, just tell them that you don't agree to record it without their permission. So it should be okay.
Mark, sorry, we're getting comments again that the audio is not as clear. Would it be okay if we try the earphones instead, like
Okay.
yesterday? I'm sorry,
Sure.
everyone, if we're having technical glitch. I think it's one of the, reasons why distance learning and mediated communication is a bit difficult. But thank you guys for understanding. So yes, the audio is a bit choppy, but we're gonna sort that out in a bit. All right. So Mark, you had your earphones on?
Yes. Hello.
All
Can
right.
you hear
So
me?
I just want to ask everyone, is the audio good now? All right. So I think yes, I think they can hear you, Mark. You just have to
Okay.
speak a little bit louder. All right. Go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Thank you for understanding. So, lastly, we'll talk about um, setting time limits. So, aside from issues on your internet, it's good to set time limits. Next slide, Audrey. Being online all the time and just sitting has effect on your physical and mental health, believe it or not. So we're on screen all the time. Um, I I what I do is I take regular breaks. I stand up, I walk around, I get water, I stretch it out. So in Trend Micro, we encourage you to do that as well. Recently, a study that I read about Zoom fatigue, this application Zoom. Zoom fatigue is real. So even video calls seem to be an elegant solution to remote work, but it wears us out. So for example, seeing a lot of people in the screen at the same time, it's kind of overwhelming, right? The lagging, especially when your internet is bad, like what we just experienced, and you don't know what is happening, it is draining you. So it's kind of stressing you out. In my case, I would really like a response whenever I'm talking. So it's good that Ochi is there. So thank you so much for reminding me about my internet connection. So I hope this one is better now. It's not here in this 6 tips, but I want you to know that if you're using a shared computer, make sure that you log out so that others won't accidentally or could intentionally open your accounts or even just pull a prank using your account. So remember, try to log out. So these are the 6 tips that we can recommend to you guys, and if you could just follow them, it will be a great experience for you um, in using the video chat applications. There might be risks out there, but if we're gonna do it right while using the video chat applications, that would be great for us, and it will benefit a lot of people, not just you, but all your family members, and that is ultimately being a good digital citizen. Again, that is protecting your privacy, protecting your personal information, protecting yourself, reporting inappropriate behavior, respecting others and their privacy, and setting time limits. Now, let me um, give back the control to Ochi. It's time for our lightning round. So what we're trying to show you is would like to hear from you which app would you like me to talk about more so that I can discuss them a little bit, maybe around 30 to 40 seconds for each. So we have Discord, if you heard about that, Viber, Google Duo, Google Meet, House Party, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or Zoom. Which applications or video chat applications you want to know more about? Okay, you're choosing. I hope my voice is better now.
Yes,
Yes.
Mark, this is way better. We're
Thank you.
also getting comments from the audience that the audio is way better. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me share
Thank
the
you.
results now.
Sure. Okay. So Google Meet. Okay. Ochi, you will be showing the slide for Google Meet, right?
Yep, let me just go ahead, get that. So first up is Google Meet. Here you go.
Thank you. So since you want to know more about Google Meet, let me discuss it a little for a few minutes. So Google Meet before was not available publicly, but now it's free. It's now free for everyone. So you just go to meet.google.com. It's now available for everybody. You can go ahead and try that. Next slide, Ochi. Actually, I tried this and it's really interesting. Next slide. So there is actually an auto voice to text captioning. Uh, one more click. You when um you understand auto voice to text captioning, right? So you speak and then it types what you say. For example, in this case, I say hello, hello, trying this, like that. I even said my name. Next, click this. I even said my name, but of course they got my name incorrectly. My name is MAR. My name spells MARC, but of course, when it's automatic, so it has limitation. Another limitation is you have to speak in English. Next, click, Kochi, please. So I tried to say how about Tagalog words, and it just says how about the dialogue words. So it's a really interesting platform to use. So go ahead and try checking it. Okay, so that is Google Meet. The next one, Alchi, would be Facebook Messenger. Okay, can we share our yeah, Facebook Messenger? So for Facebook Messenger, I believe a lot of people already have been using this, right? But Facebook Messenger allows you to have only maximum of 50 users per video chat. So it might be good for your class, but yeah, that is the maximum. What's good about Facebook Messenger is it has an um, optional button when you want to have an end-to-end encryption. Again, we advise you guys to turn that on, the end-to-end encryption. So that's for Facebook Messenger. Our third one will be Discord. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Discord. Can we share the slide Discord? Okay, for Discord, I haven't really used this, but did you know that there are like 250 million users for this application? And you might be wondering why there's a lot. And they don't use this for work. Um, Actually, a community of mostly gamers who game together or watch each other play online are the people who are using Discord. And this is where a lot of them actually meet. So the maximum users for one video chat call is 25. So take note of that. However, sadly, they don't support end-to-end encryption. So you have to be careful on what you share in Discord. Um, and if you're in Discord, yeah, thank you, Ochi, for that. If you're in Discord, you can see this kind of um, panel that you see all of those friends who are online, and again, maximum of 25 users. So be careful. Okay, so that pretty much those three. Do you still have time to answer more or
Yeah, I
discuss
think we
more?
can share Like two more apps, like in a nutshell, if you were to share two more other apps, just so they know or they're more
Okay,
familiar with the other apps.
sure. Let's try House Party, Ochi.
Yeah, actually, someone just commented house party, so
Okay,
that's
great.
perfect. So let me just get that.
Okay, that's good.
All right, here you go.
Thank you so much. So House Party, it's very popular recently. I was really surprised when checking about House Party, and the reason there is because it was purchased by Epic Games, and I think you guys are familiar with Epic Games, especially the young ones here. Epic Games is actually the makers of Fortnite. That's why I think this is really popular now. So what's good here is next slide please. There are fun games on this application. You have quiz games like trivia and Pictionary. So you know Pictionary, one person sees the word, you draw while others watch and guess. So that kind of game. However, you can only invite up to 7 people in your video chat applications. And unfortunately, again, it has no end-to-end encryption. So you have to be careful also on what you share in this application. Okay. Lastly, I would like to share perhaps Viber. Can we go to Viber? Yeah. Thank you so much, Ochi. So if I were to choose what is the best application for me, video chat application for me that is free, for me I would say it's Viber. It has more than 260 million monthly active users as of January 2019. What's good here and why this is my choice is because they have an end-to-end encryption starting in version 6.0. So I encourage everyone, if you're going to choose, try to research first what application you want to use. And for me, it's Viber. However, the disadvantage here is you can only use Viber up to 5 members simultaneously for your video chat for your video chatting. So that's it. Okay, Ochi, those are my the applications that we saw that a lot of people are curious about. Can we go on the next slide so I can show the summary tip section?
Sure.
Thank you for that, Ochi. Again, Ochi, I apologize for my internet connection, and to everybody who's listening, thank you so much for understanding. So here we talked about the 6 tips to protect your family's privacy. Um, we encourage you that you do your research. Spend a little time before you choose an application to download and use. Read the fine print, read the EULA, the end user agreement. You check the reviews as well because every day new video conferencing applications are being offered. So remember, if your kids ask you that he or she wants to use this application, before you say yes, you try to research first, not just for the sake of your kids, but also for yourself. So we hope this kind of framework of thinking, this kind of mindset will help you move forward. So thank you so much for listening. That's it for my presentation. Thank you, guys. Back to you, Ochi.
All right, thank you, Mark, for that amazing and very informative presentation. I mean, I've been with the company, Trend My Career, for 5 years, and even I learned a lot from that presentation. So I think it's time for our Q&A. So for today's Q&A, we're going to be joined by our subject matter experts. So we have Carlo Antonio and Renato Heroda for our subject matter experts. They will be helping our speaker in answering the questions from our audience. So please be reminded that we will only be answering inquiries and questions within the scope of our expertise. So let's start with the first question that has the most votes. So I think if you guys remember, if you have the same questions, you can just go to the Q&A portion and like the question that echoes your query. All right, so for our first question, Mark, what are the privacy-friendly apps that you can recommend? Privacy friendly in terms of the amount of data that they can get from us.
Okay, hello. Yeah.
Yes?
So for privacy-friendly applications, I really suggest those applications with end-to-end encryption. In my case, I only use Zoom and Viber, and then I enable the option for end-to-end encryption for Facebook Messenger. So I guess those are really good to use if you're um, worried about the privacy of the data that you put in them. So those three: Facebook Messenger, Viber, and Zoom. I
All
hope I
right.
answered the question.
All right. I think that did. All right. So for our next question, any three of you guys can answer. The next question is it true that Firefox and Brave are better browsers for privacy versus Chrome?
Okay. So I'm not familiar with this. Maybe the other
Yeah.
panelists can help me
Uh,
answer.
yeah. For this is Nats. For me, I think um, all these browsers are just the same. It's just a matter of preference. Brave is the latest one. You may uh, find some articles that would say this is better in terms of privacy. But for me, I guess this is just a matter of preference. And if you're from already been using Chrome, you might want not to uh, change the browser that you're using. Just as an advice, be sure to be familiar with the security features that any of these browsers are having, and see to it that you utilize those security features just to be safe.
All right. Thank you, Sir Nats. Okay. Next question. Um, Okay, I think a lot of people can relate to this. In reading the long content of privacy and terms and conditions, and since the children are too passive in the apps that they are downloading and sometimes neglect of giving the privacy terms a read, what do you think shall be the most considered part of the content that requires us to be focused on?
All right. Okay, I'll answer that one. Okay, so the privacy policy deals about um, the things that the information being taken from are obtained from the data subjects, and you have to know as the data subject, you have to know what the company is using it for. You have to know how they are protecting it, and how long these data will be used. So you have to be familiar of the data subject's rights in terms of data privacy. So if they are getting or asking for information that is not really relevant to the purpose of that application, it should not be provided. So the most important part is for you to know what the company is doing with the information that you are providing them.
All right. Thank you, Sir Nats, for that amazing answer. Very enlightening. All right. So next question. Question is using Google Chrome or sorry, Google Classroom safe for both teachers and students?
Hello. Oh,
Yeah, Mark, do you want to take
yeah.
that? Is it okay to use Google Meet? Oh, sorry. Is it safe for students to use Google Classroom for both teachers and students?
Oh, I personally haven't tried Google Classroom. I need to get back to you on that. Please make sure that you put that in the survey later so we can get back to you. But I'm not sure. Carlito, do you have a comment on this?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Carlito.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll just get back to you about that question since we're not experts on Google Classroom. We'll definitely answer that. Just put it in the survey. Thank you so much.
All right. So for that question or whoever posted that question, I think it's Rainiel Ordaz. We'll be talking extensively about the answer to the question once we've researched about it because we don't want to provide inaccurate information. So please check out the key takeaways on our Facebook page, Rainiel. So for the next one, I think this is very important as well because webinars have been rampant since we've been on lockdown and quarantine. As webinar attendees, Is there any way for us to identify if a webinar link being sent through our emails is secured?
Sir Nats, do you want to take that?
Okay, this way. Keeps popping up. Okay, so in terms of webinars, first of all, I was advising the team here to come up with some sort of a consent. So it's basically one of the essential factors that we show that we are giving importance to privacy. So same to other webinars that you would want to join in. So you have to make sure that they're giving importance to privacy if they have a privacy policy, and also uh, make sure that the information that they're getting is just limited to the purpose or relevant to the purpose of that webinar. So they should not be getting information that would say um, would ask for bank account numbers. If it's not really relevant, then should be suspicious about it. Did I answer the question?
Yes, very extensively at that. Thank you, Sir Nats. Okay, so I think for the next question, this is very important. For Mark, you have been talking about end-to-end encryption since the seminar earlier. So we have a question from Jesper Sakilon. They're asking, hello, can you elaborate more about end-to-end encryption? Like in a nutshell, what is it all about?
Hello. Okay, so thank you for that question. So with regards to end-to-end encryption, so this is a capability that a lot of applications is giving their users. So when you say that there's because every day when we use our video chat, we exchange a lot of messages, we exchange a lot of perhaps pictures or even videos, and then it allows us to record as well, right? So those information, when you submit it to the or when you send it to the other person on another part of the world, it's being transferred in the internet or perhaps in the cloud. So what in, end-to-end encryption is capable of is they're trying to encrypt your those information. So if ever those information were being accessed or a person was able to get hold of it, they weren't able to open it or use it because it's encrypted, because it is elaborately enclosed or compressed into a file that you cannot use. Yeah, I hope I answered the question.
All right, I think that's very clear. Just so the audience knows, I'm not very technical as well. So hearing things like this and you guys asking the questions, and they also enlighten me. I'm so amazed by the things that I get to learn about. All right, thank you, Mark. I think we can do 2 or 3 more questions. So the next question is, this is from Eunice Hapone. The question is, what are the red flags in the terms and conditions of apps that we need to check?
Okay, great. That's a good question. So with I presented earlier about um the things that you need to consider when it comes to using the video chat application. So first, of course, your camera and microphone access, you need to enable that. That is one. That is necessary for you to do the video chatting. However, if it asks you to have your contact list, um, if it asks you to access your contact list and even your entire contact list, perhaps that's one red flag, unless you really need your contacts to be in that video chatting application. So that's the second one. The third one is you need to watch out for the location. So I said again earlier that you don't need to turn this tracking on, because again, you're just in your house, and if you turn it on, what's the reason for that? I see a lot of people that when they post, they put the location, perhaps trying to showcase one good cafe or a mall, and it's up to them. But there's risk in terms of putting or enabling the location for that part. But since our topic is video chat applications or privacy in video chatting, we advise that we turn this off because it's not necessary. Yeah, those I think those three should watch out for: the location, the contact list, and perhaps the microphone access. If you're just watching, then you don't need to enable your microphone. I hope I answered the
Okay.
question.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for that. I think we have two last questions that we will answer for this session. The next question is from Bebi Dignos. The question is cognitive incognito really safe to use? What are the pros and cons of using it?
I think I will let Sir Nats answer that. Are you familiar with this?
Um, okay. So I'm not really using much of incognito, but uh, yeah, better to just do a research on this first before we provide the answer.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
Yeah. But what I observe, Ochi, when I'm using incognito is it doesn't save your password. So I think it doesn't monitor what you're doing online. So again, we're not the expert for the incognito use. So perhaps you can research and then answer on the later part, perhaps in the survey. Thank you.
All right. All right. And I think this is going to be our last question. For you, is Google Drive, OneDrive, and Apple Cloud virtually safe?
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Sir Nats.
Okay. So yeah, all these cloud storage applications are intended to um, keep applications or files stored in the cloud. So what's more important in terms of safety is that you make use of the safety features. For in Friend Micro, we use OneDrive as an official cloud storage for the company. And even if it's the official storage, we still have to ensure that we are applying the right security measures, restricting only restricting the access to specific persons that who needs access to that specific folder, and it should apply to the other repositories in the cloud as well. So you can use Google Cloud or Google Cloud, but you have to make sure that you are applying security measures. All these are safe if you're applying the right security protocols.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
just
Mark, go ahead.
add to that. So thank you, Sir Nat. So I think it's very important to have that kind of mindset to research first, to really try to be critical on what you're using, regardless of what application is that. And also, since they're asking um, the myths and facts, I think we have also in our Facebook page myths versus facts about certain application, and recently I saw about cloud, so they can refer to that as well. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Mark, and thank you, Sir Nats, for the very insightful responses to all of the questions that our audience for today asked. Thank you also for the very informative session. So I think we're about done for today. So thank you to our speakers again and our subject matter experts for answering all of the queries, for all of the inquiries. And I would like to remind everyone that our next webinar topic would be how to handle bullying when we're always online. So I think a lot of people can relate to this. If you guys are interested, this is going to be on July 16. It's on the same time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So please visit our Facebook pages, Trend Micro Careers Philippines, and click right for additional announcements. Again, the key takeaways for this session and access to the recording will also be posted there. Please like and follow these pages to stay updated. And for all of the other questions that you guys asked but we weren't able to answer live, please do check out the pages and we'll try to provide all of the information in there. So remember to answer the survey after leaving the session so that you guys can get your certificate of attendance. And you can also scan the QR code that you guys can see on your screen right now. So this is the post-webinar survey. After you answer the survey, you guys will get an email of your e-certificates after a week from this session. So I think that's everything that we have for today. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar, and I hope that you guys learned a lot. So that's it for today. Thank you and stay safe.